Well, that framing of showing momentum in Iowa, Bev, was a little ironic because it was a very distant second place. And we saw Haley sort of do the same thing, even though she got third place. It sort of reminds me of 2016 when there were other competitors to Donald Trump trying to take him out, but they couldn't. Look, going into New Hampshire and South Carolina, Ron DeSantis was polling in the single digits. And unlike Iowa, he was in third place behind Nikki Haley here in New Hampshire and, of course, in South Carolina. So it was hard to see how his campaign was going to maintain a path forward. After Iowa, he headed straight to South Carolina, thinking that might be more fertile ground than here in New Hampshire, but he wasn't making any leeway in the polls. So ultimately, it came down to yesterday's decision to drop out.
Yeah. So many people at the start, Julia, saw him as a very viable alternative to Donald Trump. Trump without the baggage, as we pointed out. Why do you think his campaign floundered so badly?
Look, I think it was just a matter of the Republican base still being in favor of Donald Trump and Donald Trump still being popular. Look, unlike Nikki Haley, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis share a more similar base, a more populist, maybe more conservative, right-leaning base. Nikki Haley's base is still very conservative, but it's not as populist. It's more traditional conservative, traditional Republican. But we're seeing that populist conservative base in the GOP is the dominant force right now, which is why Donald Trump is leading Nikki Haley nationally by so much and leading her here in New Hampshire as well.
New Hampshire seems to be the one place where she might gain some traction. How do you think she's going to perform now? It's just the two of them left.
Yeah, our polling average at The Hill and our partners at Decision Desk HQ show her trailing Donald Trump by an average of 10 points. So it'll likely be a closer finish, or could be a closer finish than Iowa. But it seems like Donald Trump has just continued to really rack up support here in the Granite State and really here across the country. So it's possible there could be a major upset. You never know. However, this seems like it's still Donald Trump's race to lose.
Yeah. So how long do you think she might hold on beyond New Hampshire?
Well, South Carolina is very important to Nikki Haley because that's her home state. She was the former governor of South Carolina. So, if she has a decent showing in New Hampshire, or even if she possibly wins New Hampshire, we'll see. That seems like it could be an uphill battle. South Carolina could be a good place for her because it is friendlier territory for her. That being said, though, Donald Trump continues to lead Nikki Haley by quite a bit in South Carolina. He is the endorsement for the current governor of South Carolina. So it seems like right now it's difficult to see how there's a path forward for her, especially when you've seen the rest of the GOP base and the party sort of consolidate around Donald Trump. It seems like Nikki Haley's slice of the party, the more traditional conservative part of the party, isn't as influential or isn't as big as the rest of the populist party.
And it is quite interesting, Julie, Donald Trump makes such fun of the president's age and his cognition, but he even confused Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi, blaming Nikki Haley for the January the 6th security problems.
Right, and Nikki Haley and Joe Biden both seized on that to attack Donald Trump. In fact, Joe Biden's campaign released a video yesterday using Nikki Haley's words and, tweeting, I don't agree with Nikki Haley that much, but, Donald Trump's cognitive, talking about Donald Trump's cognitive abilities is an area where they can agree. I was talking to voters here, Trump voters yesterday, asking them about this. They don't think that will ultimately stick. And my colleague here on the ground was talking to Haley voters. That's not really a top priority for them right now. So, ultimately we'll see if it'll stick, but it seems like the questions around Trump's age are very different than the questions around Biden's age.
Indeed. Julia, the fun is just beginning for you as you traipse around the country. Great to have you on. Thanks so much.
Thank you.